I didn't feel that the Olympic situation was reality. Here we have this whole appearance of racial harmony on the American Olympic team when things weren't that harmonious here.
Had to do with playing one-on-one. He saw it as a great business opportunity, and he noted the fact that one-on-one really hadn't been put in front of the public in an effective way, and he thought that we had an opportunity.
When NBA legends call Kareem Abdul-Jabbar a monster, they aren't talking about rage or chaos. They're talking about something far more terrifying. A player who solved basketball. A 7'2" giant who turned defense into a spectator sport. Every night, defenders stepped onto the court knowing they'd already lost. That's the kind of monster Kareem was. But what made him truly unstoppable? How did one man dominate for 20 straight years, spanning from Wilt Chamberlain's era all the way to Magic Johnson and Larry Bird's revolution? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't just play basketball, he engineered it. His career was a massive bridge connecting the game's early days to its modern explosion. 6 NBA championships, 6 MVP awards, 19 All-Star appearances. He averaged over 20 points per game for 17 straight seasons. Think about that. 17 years of elite scoring, maintained before the three-point shot became common. His production never stopped, his excellence never faded. He entered the league when Wilt was still playing and stayed dominant deep into the 1980s. That's not luck, that's architectural dominance. The secret to his terror was simple. Kareem created a move that defeated the basic geometry of defense. The skyhook, a shot so mechanically perfect that defenders couldn't block it even when they knew it was coming. Bill Walton, one of the greatest defensive centers ever, admitted the only strategy against Kareem's skyhook was to pray he missed. Not contest, not pressure, just pray. That's the confession of a man who faced something unstoppable. Here's where it gets wild. The skyhook was born from restriction, not freedom. In 1967, the NCAA banned dunking. They called it the Lou Alcindor rule, designed specifically to stop him from dominating at UCLA. Instead of containing him, the ban forced Kareem to create something better than the dunk. He took classic techniques from George McConn's era and combined them with his 7'2" frame and guard-like footwork. The result was a weapon that changed basketball forever. If you're enjoying this deep dive into basketball history, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me which NBA legend you want us to cover next. Your support keeps these stories alive. Let's break down why the skyhook was scientifically unbeatable. Kareem would turn his entire body, using it as a shield against the defender. His non-shooting arm created separation. Then his shooting arm extended fully, releasing the ball at the highest possible point in a wide arc. The release happened between 45 and 55 degrees, the optimal angle for backspin and soft touch. The ball left his hand approximately 12 to 13 feet high. Analysis showed this release point reduced the chance of a block by over 80%. The defender's window to contest simply didn't exist. Scottie Pippen, an 8-time NBA All-Defensive first-team member, called the skyhook the most unstoppable move ever. He said, "It literally retired with Kareem because no one else could master it." The move demanded immense practice, complex footwork, perfect timing, delicate touch, and complete balance, all synchronized. That difficulty made it non-replicable. Kareem's competitive advantage was his alone. The psychological damage was worse than the physical scoring. Defenders knew what was coming. They studied film. They practiced counters. But when the moment arrived, they were physically incapable of stopping it. Kareem was a psychological monster who defeated opponents by presenting an unavoidable dilemma. He didn't trick you. He just gave you a problem you couldn't solve. Now let's hear from the legends who faced him. Wilt Chamberlain, the statistical giant himself, recognized Kareem's greatness immediately. Back in 1967, while Kareem was still dominating college basketball as Lou Alcindor, Wilt predicted he had the potential to become the greatest of all time. That's the reigning king acknowledging his successor. Wilt knew the throne was about to change hands. Julius Erving, Dr. J himself, makes an even bolder claim. He argues that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the GOAT, ranking him above Michael Jordan and LeBron James. His reasoning is simple but powerful. Kareem achieved unmatched excellence at every level, high school dominance, 3 consecutive college championships at UCLA, and professional greatness spanning 2 decades. Dr. J points to Kareem's collection of MVPs, championships, scoring titles, and records as proof. But here's the deepest insight from Erving. He created what he calls the Hall of Fame metric. Being Kareem's teammate significantly increased a player's likelihood of making the Hall of Fame. No player in history elevated more teammates to that level over 20 seasons. Why? Because Kareem's offensive presence drew immense defensive gravity. Teams collapsed on him constantly. This simplified the game for everyone else. Magic Johnson and James Worthy flourished because Kareem created a force field effect around him. His excellence was systemic. He made winning easier for his entire team. Shaquille O'Neal calls Kareem the original cheat code. Before Shaq's physical dominance redefined center play, Kareem's technical perfection set the standard. Shaq once said Kareem would average 40 points per game in today's NBA. That's not nostalgia talking. That's respect from one dominant center to another. Kareem provided an automatic, high-efficiency scoring outlet that nobody could match. When you compare Kareem to Hakeem Olajuwon, the contrast becomes clear. Hakeem's dream shake was legendary, a complex series of fakes and moves designed to spin defenders in circles. Beautiful to watch, difficult to master. But Kareem took a different approach. Why execute 5 complicated fakes when one move guarantees success? Kareem committed to singular technical perfection. His execution was predictable but unavoidable. That's scarier than unpredictability. Knowing what's coming and still being helpless. Magic Johnson provided the ultimate teammate perspective. He said if Kareem wanted 40 points, he got 40. No debate, no luck, just certainty. Magic watched Kareem dominate in practice and understood his poise and leadership. This wasn't about athletic gifts alone. This was about controlled execution. The chemistry between Magic and Kareem became legendary. Magic's Showtime passes found Kareem in perfect position. Kareem's gravity created lanes for Magic's drives. Together, they formed an unstoppable partnership that won 5 championships. But Magic always knew who the anchor was. Kareem's steady excellence provided the foundation everything else was built on. Michael Jordan faced Kareem late in Kareem's career. Even then, MJ admitted Kareem was the hardest player to prepare for. Why? Because the skyhook's inevitability made game planning pointless. You couldn't scheme against perfection. Jordan studied every opponent's tendencies, searching for weaknesses to exploit. With Kareem, there were none. The skyhook came from the same spots, with the same motion, at the same release point. Jordan knew exactly what was happening and still couldn't stop it. That's what separated Kareem from every other great player Jordan faced. Predictability usually breeds vulnerability. With Kareem, it bred dominance. But Kareem's dominance wasn't accidental. It was engineered. Off the court, he built a framework of intellectual and spiritual discipline that fueled his longevity. Kareem saw basketball as an intellectual challenge. He believed his success came from combining the knowledge he possessed with his physical gifts. Talent alone doesn't guarantee championships. Consistent, knowledgeable application of talent separates champions from talented players. To maintain peak form for 20 years, Kareem practiced martial arts and yoga religiously. He sought constant balance between physical and mental health. He kept his mind sharp by reading constantly, exposing himself to new ideas to maintain mental agility. These practices were revolutionary in his era. Modern athletes follow similar routines now, but Kareem implemented them decades earlier. His dedication to yoga gave him flexibility that prevented injuries. His martial arts training provided mental focus and breathing techniques that kept him calm in pressure situations. While other players relied on natural athleticism, Kareem built a holistic system that extended his prime far beyond normal expectations. He understood that the body breaks down without the mind's support. His approach was total integration of physical skill and mental preparation. His philosophy centered on one concept: consistency. He famously said, "Winning is habitual, so is losing. Pick one." Success isn't accidental. It's a choice driven by relentless small disciplines repeated every day. This mindset gave him psychological resilience. When a fire destroyed his home in 1983, consuming priceless Islamic art and jazz records, Kareem responded with profound perspective, saying, "Loss teaches you what matters." That spiritual maturity allowed him to maintain focus through adversity. The monster on the court was built through internal mastery. From his first game, Kareem forced opponents to redesign their entire defensive strategy. His presence warped the court's geometry. Even before the entry pass reached him, defenses collapsed into crammed spaces in the paint. His defensive gravity was so intense that some coaches strategically let him pass, rather than risk the near-certain 2 points from the skyhook. Think about that decision. Conceding that guarding him was impossible. Coaches are paid to find solutions. Their solution against Kareem was surrender. Let him pass and hope his teammate misses. That strategic concession reveals the depth of his dominance. No other player in history forced that level of defensive capitulation. His rookie season announced his arrival with immediate impact. Teams scrambled to adjust their entire defensive philosophy just to slow him down, not stop him, just slow him down. That was the best they could hope for. The ultimate proof of Kareem's time-resistant dominance came in the 1985 NBA Finals. He was 38 years old. After a disappointing Game 1, critics wrote him off, thinking age had finally caught up. But Kareem had other plans. He turned the series around with a legendary Game 2 performance: 30 points, 17 rebounds, and 8 assists. Game 5 was even better with 36 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. He hit 9 decisive skyhooks to secure the critical win. That performance made him the oldest Finals MVP in history. At age 38, when most players are retired, Kareem proved that mechanical precision and intellectual preparation could withstand the ravages of age. 3 years later, in the 1988 Finals, Kareem delivered again, Game 6 against the Detroit Pistons. The Lakers faced elimination, less than 30 seconds remaining. They needed a score. Magic Johnson was on the floor. James Worthy was available, both younger and more athletic, but the coaching staff called on 40-year-old Kareem. That decision tells you everything. His perfected skill provided scoring certainty that no other option could match. The ultimate high-leverage, reliable closer. At 40 years old, most players are coaching high school basketball or doing commentary. Kareem was closing out finals games. The bad boy Pistons had the most physical defense in the league. They specialized in intimidation and rough play. None of it mattered. Kareem received the ball, executed his move, and scored. Clockwork precision under maximum pressure. His teammates trusted him because he never wavered. The moment was never too big. The stage was never too bright. He delivered when it mattered most because his technical mastery removed doubt from the equation. How would Kareem dominate today's NBA? The answer is terrifying for modern defenses. Current rules explicitly ban hand-checking. Physical contact in the post is discouraged. The game has evolved into a space and pace model driven by three-point shooting. This creates vast court spacing. Kareem would get isolated in the post without the defensive clutter he faced in this era. No rapid doubles from the baseline, no diagonal help defenders clogging the paint, just space and the unblockable skyhook. Analysts agree the move would be unstoppable in any era. But here's the deeper strategic nightmare. Kareem possessed high basketball IQ and elite passing skills. The modern NBA relies on perimeter switching and rotational defense. If Kareem played today, the guaranteed 2 points from the skyhook over a switched smaller guard would be strategically intolerable. Defensive coordinators would be forced to abandon their core contemporary schemes or risk instant punishment for misalignments. Kareem would single-handedly force strategic regression across the entire league. On defense, Kareem was an elite rim protector and defensive anchor. His positioning, instincts, and ability to move translated perfectly to modern requirements. Versatile defense and pick-and-roll coverage would be natural for him. People forget that Kareem wasn't just an offensive weapon. He altered shots, grabbed rebounds, and protected the paint with intelligence rather than athleticism. His length made him a constant presence around the rim. His timing on blocks was impeccable, never jumping at every pump fake but waiting for the right moment. Modern analytics would love his defensive impact, controlling the paint without fouling and keeping him on the court in crucial moments. Kareem himself has been critical of the modern NBA. He argues the game has lost its balance and soul due to overwhelming emphasis on the three-point shot. He believes fans are being cheated by the monotony of outside-in offense. During one interview, he joked that his focus on post-dominance might relegate him to a statistician role today. That's not self-doubt, that's strategic critique. He's highlighting the flaw in modern strategy. Even an unstoppable inside force might be overlooked in favor of perimeter volume. But make no mistake, if Kareem entered today's league, teams would adjust. They'd have no choice. Kareem's greatness extended beyond basketball. His social consciousness ignited early. A formative meeting with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1964 motivated him to recognize and act on his community's needs. He refused to join the 1968 Olympic basketball team, protesting the country's repression of black rights and the racist leadership of the Olympic Committee. In 1971, he publicly asserted his Muslim identity and changed his name from Lou Alcindor to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He maintained this conviction despite potential financial penalties, lost endorsements, and political harassment from the Nixon administration. Muhammad Ali's Muhammad, integrity-driven refusal to serve in Vietnam, made Kareem's own choices easier. For Kareem, asserting an identity in harmony with his ancestry and moral feelings was the most important thing. His courage to stand for his beliefs during an era of intense pressure demonstrated the same mental strength he showed on the court. He risked everything for his principles. Endorsement deals disappeared, public criticism intensified, but Kareem never backed down. His convictions weren't negotiable. This integrity shaped his entire legacy. He proved that greatness includes moral courage. In 2016, he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor. Kareem himself emphasized that this award wasn't for basketball. He said, "You don't get that medal for just hoops." His work as an activist, mentor, writer, and cultural ambassador earned that recognition. His integrity paired with athletic excellence elevated him beyond sports. So when legends call Kareem Abdul-Jabbar a monster, understand what they mean. Not a creature of chaos, a force of disciplined, consistent, cerebral perfection. He engineered the most unstoppable offensive weapon in history. He dominated across multiple eras and defensive systems. He psychologically defeated opponents before they even stepped on the court. His skyhook was more than a shot. It was a statement, a mathematical proof that basketball could be solved. Defenders knew what was coming and remained helpless. That's the deepest terror. Kareem didn't need surprise, he needed certainty, and he delivered it for 20 years. If this story of engineered greatness inspired you, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and share this video with someone who needs to understand true basketball dominance. The legends spoke, we listened, and the verdict is clear. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was, is, and always will be a monster.